Yeah, good afternoon, guys. This is me, your brother, your friend, your man, Steven. This afternoon, I'm going to be very, very quick one today. I want to talk about, the same trading events. I'm going to do this. Also, I'm going to do one, on the security situation in Edo State, to talk to the government of Edo State. But this one had to be the first thing. My question is why are the political opposition in Edo State today, led by Godwin Obaseki, sees the Oba of Benin as their position rival? Why are the opposition in Edo State today, led by Obaseki and his boys, not seeing the Oba of Benin as their rival instead of Modi Okpebholo, who is the elected or selected governor of Edo State? If you watch through all social media angle, all you see, all you hear is these Obaseki boys online talking about the palace of the Oba of Benin. Some of them were coming, they will go to Ife, go and see the Oni of Ife and show what the Oni is doing and paste the picture or the video. They will go to Olu of Wari, go and see what the Olu of Wari is doing. They will come and paste the picture or the video and say this is how kings are supposed to be operating. They've not left the reality on ground, which is the job of governance that's supposed to be for elected political office holder to a traditional ruler who is only on the adversary role. Okay, so sometimes I begin to wonder the thinking, level of some of us when politics is being, involved. I have asked this question severally to many of these people. If you go, do you know what the Oni of Ife collects as his stipends from the federal government? Do you know what the Olu of Wari collects as his stipends or allowance from the federal government? Nobody knows. Their state governor is not, coming online, to drag these traditional rulers over what they get or what they did not get. Okay, guys? Yeah, nobody knows. Now, but our own was able to come outside quickly. He has been the first governor anyways who have come outside, to start talking about what the palace receives or what the palace do not receive. And you guys, like I said in my previous video, you guys also know that the BTC, the Benin Traditional Council, is a body that is made up of all the Inigies and other chiefs, being Oba of Benin as the head of the council. So the money that is being paid doesn't go to the Oba of Benin, it actually go into the account of the Benin Traditional Council, where Oba is the head. There, all manner of expenditure and disbursement are being made. But in the case of the Oni of Ife, he is only the paramount ruler. There is no other chiefs under him that actually, operate in the manner in which the Edo or the Benin kingdom is being operating. But they don't want to hear that. They don't want to see that because they felt that, I'm going to say this again, they felt that the loss of Aso Ighodalo in the 2024 general election was as a result of the Oba of Benin fight against Obaseki, which is true, partially true. And that has angered all of them. They found that the influence of the Oba had actually, made them to lose the election. Now, let's go back again a little bit. How much influence did the Oba of Benin had in the last general election in Edo State? Edo North was won by Modi Okpebholo, 100%. Because Aso Ighodalo had no grassroots mobilizer in Edo North during the last election. They don't want to tell you that. We have the Oshomole. We have the Danombi. We have the Philip Shaibu. We have the Ogiamie. Ogiamie, no. Where's the name of this former deputy governor? I forgot his name. Under Lucky Biledo, no Ogiamie. Who was also from the north anyways. This entire political heavyweight from the north all ganged up against Asoegotalo in Edo North. They will not have the Edo Central that was not divided into two. If you actually go and check the result of the 2024 Edo State gubernatorial election, even the little votes that Aswe got was actually gotten from Edo South. Okay? And do not forget, 2 local governments in Edo South, where Dennis came from, was already pocketed by Dennis Idahosa because of his antecedents in those 2 local governments, which is Ovia North and Ovia South. But nobody is talking about that. Every one of them is now trying to pet their failure on the Yoruba of Benin being the reason why they are no more in government today. Some of them have blocked some of them. Yeah, that's me. When I found out you are being mischievous in your analysis, you are being sentimental, and you are trying to claim you are fighting for the progress of a developed Edo. And I see through you that your intent and intention is not actually to fight for the Edo, but it's actually to fight for your own personal interest and the interest of the one that you protect. Then either I block you completely or I distance from you. Because I am a naturalist. I am a humanist. And I am someone who completely believes in equity, justice, fairness, and accountability. Now, when that is not, if I'm not saying that in the way and manner you dispense your support for someone, they will not seeing there is a level of, biasness in you, then I withdraw. That's just the truth of matter there. This is not politics, this is reality. Because I'm going to feel you're going to do the same thing, with me if anything goes wrong. Because today, all we should be talking about is how we can be able to develop the state without being biased. That's what I said. And I saw somebody today, I think this woman from, I don't want to call her name anyways, from Paris, showing bad road and saying, yes, if they call me an Ogyomba, then she's showing the bad road. And I've asked a series of questions before, for God's sake. Is it the Oba of Benin that fix roads? Is it the Oba of Benin that builds schools? Is it the Oba of Benin that provides security? Is it the Oba of Benin that does all these things that they are listing? If they want the Oba of Benin or the kings in Edo State to not take the responsibility of becoming the chief security officer of the state, then they should return back to the system before the invasion or the coming in of the colonial masters, where these kings were like political heads, and supreme leaders of their different domains, and they will know how to actually, control their domains to the best of their abilities. Okay, guys. So sometimes I want us to take, to put aside political differences, to put aside this very political myopicness that many of us are displaying, to a point whereby we cannot be able to actually see the reality that's on ground. The failure of a government should not be put on the shoulder of an advisor, which is the position of the kings as far as this Nigerian dispensation is concerned. I begin to wonder the thinking ability of our political actors and their clonings in dishing out some information that sometimes when I read through the information, I sat down, I want to assimilate, I want to digest to actually see if I can be able to get where they are coming from. Most time I'm lost, in the shadow of their thoughts, because their thought is like a breeze that has no, pattern, no shape. Their thoughts sometimes is very amoebaic in nature to me, that I cannot be able to fathom where they are going or where they are coming from. Many of them will say, yes, I've always been a pro-palace man. All my life, since they know me on social media, I've always been a pro-palace man, and I would never say anything against the palace and the Oba of Benin. If you watch carefully, guys, the Oba of Benin is one chief that is very careful in speaking out. Even during the time of this same government, before the coming in of this Okpebholo, the Oba of Benin have been very silent, have been very quiet, but the people react based on his body movement. Obaseki sees their location for months, for over 6 months, over a letter that was written by the Enigies. But you never heard the palace reacted until when they were not taken to court. That was when the BTC now made some fact clear. You never heard the palace talk about anything. Even when the issue of the artifact came, the Oba had to just make a press conference to explain, these are my properties. You can't take it from me. Does that not make him a political opposition leader? You guys have actually forgotten, or you are trying so hard to erase the genesis of the Cold War between the then governor and the Oba of Benin. It is over ownership. It is over ownership. Listen, guys. Now, just the way the governor of Edo State then, or even now, is bigger than the Oba or the kings in Edo State. In the same vein is how the president of the federation is greater and bigger than the governor of the states. You guys are not saying that also. When this fight persisted, and this very particular group of people refused to budge, they were not using their political powers and political influences to undermine the authority and the ownership, ties of those artifacts to the Oba of Benin. The Oba need to cry out. Just like Oba Eweka II, in 1914, cried out to King George, to Oni of Ife, to Emir of Kano, and many other leaders of thoughts in his time, to say, oh, they want to take what rightfully belongs to me. Okay? Jolly, I'm going to explain that. Hold on, I'm going to explain that right now. Don't worry that. I'm going to explain that, what it meant by being political. Okay, guys? Now, when the man came, the man said, okay, Oga Buhari, please, so this is what I am passing through. These things are mine. They've been returning it in batches over the years, and everything they returned have been returned back to the palace. I don't know why this one is different now. Do you guys also know this is not the first time that artifacts were returned to Benin? It has been happening right from the early 70s. It has been returned in bits and bytes. There was some that was returned during the military era. There was some that was returned during the Shomole era. There were some that was returned during the Benedict era. There was one that was returned during the Yegus era. Go check history. This has never created any controversy. So when the man now decided to beg so that it's what rightfully belonged to him, just the way it happened to his grandfather or his great-grandfather, do not happen again, then it is not being tagged as a political, opposition in the state. Now, let me quickly explain what Jolly said now so that I will not miss it. Then I will return back to where I'm going to. Now, being political, every king has an influence in the politics of every state in Nigeria or every domain that they govern. That is why you will see when a political party is campaigning, when they come to Edo State, the first place they land is the palace of the Oba of Benin. Do you know the reason why? They know the influence of the Oba, which is political. But is the Oba playing politics? That is two different things now. The answer is no. Because his title is also political. It is a traditionally political position that he held sway under the 1979 edict. That is why they are also mentioned in this edict as people that owns some certain position. That edict has classified them to be political, but they are not into politics. So they are neutral. So if you come in, any political party that comes in is welcomed by them. That you see a PDP man coming in, he goes to the palace of the Oba of Benin, he goes to the palace of the Ataro of Auchi, he goes to the palace of the Enoje of Uromi. They go there to seek blessings. That makes the kings political in nature. Their statement, they govern people, they govern a territory. Any man who governs a territory is into politics. Shikina. But them being, into this politics, do they actually have a preferred candidate? The answer is no, because they are father of all. But what the opposition are painting now is that the Oba of Benin was 100% in support of Okpebholo because of the statement that he made that it was the ancestors that brought Okpebholo to government. I'm going to explain that, Kelly. I've done it several times. I'm going to do it again today so that they understand that. Now, during the time of Obaseki, the Oba of Benin went through some things that he himself cannot explain to us. At least he gave a little of it the day he made some little statement at the government house. Okay, at the government house, he made some little statement on what he went through during these 4 years. I want you guys to listen to this very carefully. Governor Obaseki also said in one of his meet and greet that if he had wanted, I repeat, underline, if he had wanted to play politics like other states were doing, he would have dethroned the Oba and nothing will happen. That was a statement. Then, listen, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So his intent was what Obaseki spoke on that day. Guys, listen. You people now said the Obaseki the ancestors brought Okpebholo was political. One, Obaseki seized the allocation from the federal government to Benin Traditional Council. For 6 months. Because Obaseki said the Enigies wrote to him. Obaseki has no right to assist that. If Obaseki was not the one that actually tried to drag the palace into what they never wanted to be, in order for him to nail them, the palace kept quiet. They said nothing. The Obaseki now wrote to them and said, okay, from now onward, every 600 million that comes to you, according to Obaseki, I will give the palace, the Benin, that is the palace of the Oba of Benin, and the BTC, 300 million. Then I will use the balance 300 million to pay the salaries of the Enige directly from the Edo State government purse. Who was not dragging who into politics? Now, what the BTC have been doing right from time immemorial, Obaseki wanted to not be the one that was not paying the Eniges. So the Eniges now are not direct appointees of the government of Edo State. Who was dragging who into politics right now? The man kept quiet. Then the BTC came out to debunk and said, listen, these people you call traditional rulers, we are not traditional rulers, based on the 1979 edict. That they are chiefs appointed by the Oba to go and oversee those dukedoms that he created. Who created the dukedoms is the Oba of Benin. Let us be very careful. Let us be very sincere right now. These dukedoms are created by Oba of Benin, not by the government. The way they are created, a chief is now appointed to not go there and become the Enoge. Some of them, they are called Okaibo. The Ohens, the Odionweres are all the appointees of the Oba of Benin, which Obaseki wanted to change. To not see that these people will not become the appointees of the state government. By that action of him dividing what was supposed to go to the BTC into two, give one to BTC, where the Oba is the chairman, and pay the other people directly from the state coffer. Who was dragging who into politics? Then it came again. When he found that that did not work, he now decided to now want to twist the 1979 chieftaincy title edicts to suit his interest by saying those Enigies who were chiefs are actually traditional rulers of the same rank like the Oba of Benin. He now said for them to be free from the strongholds of the Oba of Benin, they should have autonomy. They should have autonomy. They should become independent. So he's not going to create 7 local government traditional council that each each local government will have a king. And they will now have the BTC, which is the Benin Traditional Council, that will be headed by the king of Oredo, which is the present Oba of Benin. Who was dragging who into politics? Guys, let's be realistic. Sometimes let's tell ourselves the gospel truth. When that failed, he now decided, when Professor Gregory and the other one, Edomoyi, committed sacrileges in their different domains, they took people lands, they sold the people lands without not recurring to the people that owns the lands. These people cried to the palace of the Oba of Benin. Listen, guys, these are truth. They cried to the Oba of Benin and they said, Papa, the land you gave to us, the land you gave to us, we are taken away by these people. They sold it without even asking us. Then after the Oba of Benin have now done his investigations, naturally found that those things were true. He now therefore called on these people. Called on these people. Okay, you come. They have summoned you. Your people have summoned you. You come and explain to us your side of the story. That was the reason why, listen, that was the reason why they wrote that letter. Obaseki encouraged them to write that letter to his office. They were called for accountability. That was why Obaseki encouraged them to write that letter to his office in order for him to take over, because he knew, based on what they've done, and most of the lands that we are talking about now was actually given to Obaseki. That was the truth of the matter there. These lands were given to Obaseki, and Obaseki gave this land to his clonings. Go to one day is finished. Who owns those properties? Private individuals. Private firms. We are giving half of half of Oronibe is gone. Give it to one man. As a business, they planted palm tree on it. And you know what palm tree is? Is a perennial crop. It's an everlasting crop. So in the next 20 years now, the family of that people who took that land and to farm on it will take possession of that land to become their own. So when they could not come to explain, and when Obaseki actually knew that what they've done was illegal, all he could do was to ask them to take the Oba to court for suspending them from office. Who was dragging the palace into politics? In all that I've just enumerated now, guys. And when this did not work, it started a Cold War. How can you go and appoint or nominate the crown prince of the kingdom into a position when his father is not incapacitated? Tell me, guys. Most of the time, we need to tell ourselves the truth. Maybe because he knew there was some issues between the father and the son. That is family affair. He took advantage of it and went to appoint the boy to become part of his schemes, knowing fully well the father will react, then the son will react. Then they will not become an issue that he will be able to manipulate into and create a division in the family. Just like what I heard from Isodua, that this very particular Godwin was actually disowned by his father for 17 years. So he does not actually understand the relationship between the father and the son. Who was dragging who into politics right now? Mo begin to tell us the truth. I'm just giving you hints that these people will always put their blind eye to, because they felt we others, we are stupid, we are myopic, or we don't have sense. If Obaseki likes, let him build all the good things for Edo State. Have you ever seen, go to Burkina Faso today? Tory is doing a lot of things, but yet he's a tyrant. He's a depost. He does not allow opposition voices. He does not allow opposition voices. So it is not just about the development. It's about the manner in which you ruled your people. You and I knew that Obaseki was worse than an Indian Amin. Was worse than an Indian Amin in his time. People are saying, yes, during his time, a lot of things changed. You are not supposed to fear a government that you elected. You are supposed to respect a government that you elected. I'm going to say this again, clearly. You are not supposed to be afraid of a government that you elected. You are supposed to respect a government that you elected. When you are not afraid of a government that you elected, whatever you do, it is not out of love. It's not out of love, but it is out of fear. And when it is out of fear, it doesn't last long. When you leave power, it crumbles. Because the people were not obeying you out of their own will. The people were not obeying you because they actually loved you. They were obeying you because they were afraid of what you will do to them. This is the logic, guys. So when people are not saying today that most of the things that Obaseki brought is crumbling, I've also asked this question. What actually did he bring that crumbled? A system that was functioning will not die. The Edo jobs, for example, was an agency, not a job creating ministry or department. It was an agency that interface between an employer and an employee. They weren't creating jobs. They were only linking people to existing jobs that others have created to make the job of recruitment easy for the employee and the employers. So if you're in Europe, if you know very well, there are agencies who are intermediaries. They don't create jobs. But when there is an opening in any company, the company can write them and say, okay, we need this. And they can send candidates there, or they can send, what is it called? Their resume to the company of these candidates. And when these candidates are not satisfied with these resumes, they can contact them back and ask them to send in those candidates for an interview. That was what Edo Jobs was doing. So because they are agencies, they are bound to fail. Do you know why? I'm being realistic now. The money that they were paid was not actually doing the job they were ought to have done. Those agencies are supposed to be a private, company who does that in Europe, not government companies. That's number one. Let's look at the Edo Best. The Edo Best actually did not function holistically around the 18 local government area of Edo State, because in our villages, there were no internet connections. So because of that, Edo Best actually functioned in some few areas within the central cities of each of these 3 senatorial districts that makes up the state. That also is one of the reasons why Edo Best could not function properly. You get it now? Let's look at the use of POS. It's still working today because it's a thing that was working. It's still working today. Till today. The POS is still working. To collect money from the market women is still working. The POS. That's what they are still using today. Because it is something that is really, really, attainable. And therefore, even the blind, we see that thing functions properly. Reforms can only be workable when it is holistically implemented. Not just on paper, but also in the practical terms of it. That's what happened in the developed world. You don't write down policies or reforms and just read it out and that's the end. You must also put in the modality for it to function. Are you not going to tell me it is the Oba of Benin that now makes it not to function? When they were laying fiber around the city for internet connection, they said at the end when the fiber comes up, we're going to get internet connection. Okay? So along the line, are you going to now tell me today it is also the Oba of Benin that now makes those internet connections not to be functioning? I've asked this question severally. The money going to the palace, is it coming from a state government? They say it's no. So the money going to the palace has nothing to do with the money coming to a state government purse. So what is the brouhaha over what the Oba gets? and what the Oba did not get. As far as the money is not part of Edo State money that they are being given to these chiefs and these kings, why the continuous repetition of the same thing over and over by his boys just to whip sentiment against the throne? And do you know why? Because they know the influence of the palace of the Oba of Benin in the 7 local government that makes up Edo South. So what they are trying to do is to divide the city or to divide the kingdom so that in the next political dispensation, the influence of the palace would have been weakened to a point that there will be a division in the South that will create a political tsunami. This is the gospel truth there. Because if not, every one of these people knows what I am talking about now. They know the truth. The Rolls Royce that the palace is driving today was bought by late Captain Osa. The renovation of the palace of the Oba of Benin was renovated by late Captain Osa, not the government of Edo State. I have asked before, how much do you think is 300 million? How much do you think is 600 million? That you guys are looking at it as if that's a huge amount of money. With chiefs that is being paid, over 500 chiefs is being paid. Let's say you are paying each chief 50,000 naira self every month. Remove that away as salary. You now talk about other expenditures. You now talk about, whatever it is. It's just like, because the palace of the Oba Benin is a traditional government house for the Edo people. Oba also welcomed dignitaries, and they are being taken care of. From where? From that money, from that allocation that is sent to them by the federal government. Let's sit down and put a proper analysis in place, guys. Let's not be politically sentimental. Obaseki that used over 620-something million as a transfer charges. 620-something million is bigger than the entire money that is being paid to the Oba of Benin, to the entire Edo South, according to him, in a month. What he used for transfer charges. Yet you people are not seeing that. If you want to look at the direct appointee of the Oba of Benin and the direct appointee of the Edo State government, the direct appointee of the Oba of Benin is more than the direct appointee of the Edo State government. Sorry, guys. I don't know what happened there. I think my light just went off and it came down again. Okay, guys. So right now, let us sometimes sit down and begin to tell ourselves the truth. The Oba of Benin never, that is not, or that will not be acceptable by all. I'm not against anybody trying to criticize activities that you see by the palace that is wrong. Yeah, sorry guys. So I have decided to let you guys understand something. And I've come outside to criticize the chiefs sometimes who were taking bribes in the palace of the Oba of Benin. I've come to criticize them. I've come to criticize the rate at which some Okareles have been appointed in Edo State. Go watch my videos when I was in Nigeria. But I have not come to throw tantamount to the throne and the one seated on the throne. This is where we draw the line. And many of them today, you see them shouting. Let's give an example of this boy, Abbott and his brother. Anytime you insult Abba's parents, and I lost mouth for that, you see him shouting, getting angry, getting mad, shouting, threatening, fire and brimstone. It means he respects his father and his mother. That means he will not want anyone, for whatsoever reason, to throw, unnecessary jabs against his family. But his brother always insults a man that is old enough to be his dad. And every one of you clap for it. How many of us will actually sit down today and see our parents being insulted for no just cause? Because they sit on a throne that they don't have the power to make decisions. I want you also know something. You know that the Oba of Benin cannot do anything without the approval of the state government. No. There are things that cannot be done. There are projects that you cannot execute without not the state government approving it. Because the position that they occupy is not the position of a private individual. We will not lie to ourselves. These days you see these kings doing marvelous things. Go and see the relationship of the king and the ruling government. Oba is not your opposition leader. He is just a king. Only give advice. And the advice can be taken or not taken. I will end with this video of 2020 when the Oba of Benin told Obaseki, say, be calming down. I'm going to rephrase what he said. Say, because go and look at Elder Statesman, Chief Odige Oyegu, was once a governor of this state. People still respect him. Say, look at after you've left office. This was in 2020, when they came to the government, when they came to the palace of the Oba of Benin, when they were having problem between the Oba of Benin and Osage Zayamo. Say, be calming down. Say, power transits. Say, every one of them, talk about Oyegu, talk about Oshomole. Say, power transits. So that when you leave office, that's what the Oba said. That was a prophecy. That when you leave office, you can still walk on the street of Edo State. People will still respect you, give you that respect that you deserve as once a governor of the state. These were the exact words of the Oba of Benin to Godwin Obaseki during that reconciliation meeting they had at the palace of the Oba of Benin during the 2020 gubernatorial election 5 years ago. Those of you who are now saying the Oba of Benin is now playing politics, did you people not hear that advice that was given to him? Because the Oba saw something that many of you refuse to see. The Oba spoke as a father who saw the actions of his children. He warned him. He advised him to be careful of what he was doing. Today, are you guys going to tell me that what the Oba of Benin said is not coming to pass? It means there were things that the Oba have been witnessing from him that none of us saw. None of us knew that made the Oba to give him such a fatherly advice. But did he take it? No, rather, he became more angry. He became more pompous. He increased his hatred for the throne and the one seated on the throne. Rather than to take an advice of an elder, he turned the advice to be a disrespect on his person as the #1 citizen of the state. That was it. Then he wanted to use his political and constitutional power to subdue the traditional authority bestowed on the king. To make the king look as if, listen, you are just a king there. I am the Oga Bata of them all. All he did was an act to tell the king, I am the governor. You are just a nobody. You guys should tell yourself the truth now. How is he now a political opposition when he warned him? He saw the path he was treading. He knew that path will lead him nowhere. As a father to a son, he warned him. Did he listen? No. He became even more arrogant. He became more insubordinate to the throne, which made them, the entire Obasekis, what they are. Today, you people are not trying to blame a man who foresaw the future and warned the same person of the consequences if he refuses to retrace his steps. In 2020, when he was still fighting for his second-term political life, he was warned. None of you will come out to say that this man was actually warned. As at that time, were they fighting? Was there no peace between the Oba of Benin and Obaseki at that time? But the Oba, who is a diplomat, the Oba who has traveled wide and far, has actually seen the character that makes up the Godwin Eniolas Obaseki. He has seen his governance in nature. He has understood that if nobody speaks to this man will self-destroy himself. That he had to come out and warn him openly. The world saw that. But he didn't listen. No, he didn't. Every word that the Oba said on that day came to pass. He ran away before his tenure could even elapse. Because he could not even walk the street of Benin anymore as a private citizen. Was that not the exact words of the Oba of Benin? Mona asked me, how is he now the opposition to you guys? When somebody warn you as a father, say, oh boy, I see what the road they pass, so this road not good though. If you continue this path, there's going to be destruction. Then you kept quiet, you refused to listen to him. You continue on that path. Then when the thing don't cast, you are not holding a man, your father who warned you beforehand as a problem. We will talk through now. We will talk through. Okay, guys, we will talk through now. We will talk through. We will talk through. We will talk. We will talk through sometimes to ourselves. You be papa now. As a girl. Okay? All these women will follow. So, as a girl, your body see the kind waka where they waka with boys for backyard, for house. You see all the crooked waka with the waka. Your pa call you say my daughter. This kind of waka you the waka so. I don't waka this waka pass so. I don't see am oh. This will lead you nowhere. Why not retrace your step, go school, or go learn work and become a better person? You look your father for face, you tell and say, Papa will be you. I know what I'm doing. I'm a Gen Z. I'm a 21st century Peking. Not be this Meleno Chidewo una be. The old stone age Chidewo una be. I know what I'm doing. Leave me alone. After your father continually trying to make you to see reasons with what he's saying, you refused. Then your waka can either carry you get belle or your boy can use you do ritual. Then you will start blaming the man who warned you over the kind of life you were living. Does it sound well? Una get pikimo will talk now. Una get children. Make we talk calm. Does it actually sound well to una for a year? You know, the truth of the matter is this, guys. Oba of Benin is not you guys' problem. Okpebholo is the governor of Edo State. Every government in power is for the Oba of Benin. I repeat, every government in power. The Oba of Benin went to the government house during Obaseki time. Happy to know that. The Oba of Benin supported Oba. They actually collaborated, Oba of Benin and Obaseki. The CDA abolition. The Mama Yansh abolition. Because most of them in London today who were against the palace are Mama Yansh. Those people were actually doing trolley, bringing people in, you know, using 200,000 to carry people to Italy, and they'll go and pay 50, 60,000 euros. Now, some of them body they paying because they don't get work, they don't go school. All they were doing is using people's children for their own devilish, selfish aims. So now that they've lost out completely, so they've just seen an opportunity to vet their anger on the man who took away that illegal source of earnings from them. Not them, now they fight, so most of the night did there. A true Benin person where they come Benin every time, we know we'll do some what they do so. I can bet my liver for it. Okay? Not all those talk, where did they talk so is of no use right now. Because those talk would have been discussed when this man was in government. You know, Duan. You know, imagine. Now, let's look at the Radisson Blue. I heard somebody said the government, I think he spent 2.9 million naira of the government money. He took another 17.something billion naira, you know, from the capital market, borrowed and invested in Radisson Blue. And an individual, a private businessman, now brought the balance and he now gave the government 20%. And people were clapping. Say, go and listen to his explanation. Oh boy, let's go like this. Based on what he said the government paid 2 billion to buy the property. The government paid 2 billion to buy the property. So that means the original owner of Radisson Blue was Edo State government. The first owner. I want to ask this question based on what Obaseki said. When they buy the property, whose name was on the board of trustee or the shareholder company that was created to buy the property as the first owner? We need to see that. Because it was Edo State government that bought that property. not the individual. Then after I don't say government bought, he also said he now went to the capital market to now borrow 17.something billion of Edo State money into that project. Guys, I have seen an hotel in Benin. I went there, belongs to one of my friend. It's a 4-story building hotel with 3 swimming pools on the land of, I think it was about 6 plots or thereabout, more than 1 acre of land. Everything was standard. I was inside. When I was discussing with the owner, when I went to there, the owner said he spent 1 billion naira to build that place. A 4-story building with elevator. 1 billion naira to build the place. 1 billion. I've driven past Radisson Blu before. So we had to about 68 billion to build that place. I don't even know what is inside in the first place. That was 68 billion. Because the building was already existing. They only just they bought the hotel and they reinforced the hotel and raised it up. 68 billion to do what? What are they building? What is inside? Even my own house, the house we are built for myself. Yeah, if maybe when I go to Nigeria one day I will do video. The house I built for myself, that I built for myself. I know how much I spent there. I know how much I spent there. Okay, guys. If you go there, you will know. You will also know both the features and everything. Then somebody came from nowhere. And you said the person now put the balance. Who be that? You know if you talk. Then you now gave the government 20% and gave the person 80%. And the company was registered 5 months before you left office. How the person can't carry the money come when they take you down? When 5 months before you leave office, now the company come into existence. You see, they can't talk what they talk. They will talk, people will just stay there, be clapping. They will say, they cannot read numbers. Okay, if people cannot read numbers, people in the Edo State House of Assembly cannot read numbers. I mean, everybody for a donor, they are not door, except the people from PDP. Oga, Junior, whatever, Demiyi or whatever, the Udini. I want to ask you a question. Because it is one of Indian best construction company that is building the Radisson Hotel, that now makes it that there is no fraud. Oh, God. Have you ever gone to India before? Have you ever gone to India before, Oga? Have you ever gone to India before? Why do you people always see these people that will call you white people? Why do you guys always see them to be genuine, to be honest, and they are not corrupt? You see, the mindset of an African sometimes want to make me pew. The mindset of Africans want to make me pew. How you guys think? That because an Indian construction company was the one building the building, now makes it to be real? Ah, God of Israel. These guys, sometimes people will kill us, I swear. You see, that's the reason why you see these white people see us to be continually inferior. I want to ask you a simple question, Mr. Junior. Who actually built the place? Is it the white men or Nigerian men that built that very particular Radisson Blu? Is it the India construction company that built Radisson Blu or the Nigerians that built Radisson Blu? Okay, leave now. I'm asking a question. Is it the Nigerians that build Radisson Blue or the Indian construction company that built Radisson Blue? Answer my question. Answer my question. Listen, Obaseki said he bought that building for 2 billion and it was the Edo State government that paid for it. Do you people listen to what the man is saying? Go watch his video. Okay. He said Edo State paid for the land. Then he borrowed 17.30 billion naira from the capital market. Then he now gave Edo State 20% of the entire thing. This guy, sometimes you guys, all these Obaseki people, you guys, I think your level of reasoning have been so much configured that you don't see beyond the reality anymore. And trying to argue with you guys is like arguing with a brick. You know, when I argue with a wall, you can't get a result. That's just the truth of matter there. I just ask you a question now. You first said it was an Indian construction. And I ask you, who built Radisson Blue? The Indian construction company or the Nigerians? You have not answered me. You are just, ragmarolling. Answer one simple one. Who built the Radisson Blue? The Indian construction company or Nigerians? I just, this guy, you are just roaming around. A question that will make me to school you. Who built it? First and foremost, the Indian or the Nigerian. Then I will put you down and lecture you when it comes to investment and business. It's not by stealing. I will lecture you. It's not to speak Queen's English, just to deceive the people. Because it's the mumu like you that Obaseki will deceive, my brother. If it was the Edo State that built the place, if it was the Nigerians living in Nigeria that built Radisson Blue, I am here to tell you, sir, how much was their daily pay? How much was their daily pay? When you are talking, you talk as if you are not in Nigeria. What was the daily pay of the bricklayers? What was the daily pay of the servicemen that was working in that place? How much did they buy a bag of cement? Did they buy a bag of cement differently from what you buy in the market? How much did they buy a chip of sand? Did they buy a chip of sand differently from what you buy from the market? How much did they buy the granite they use in building the place? Was it different from what you buy from the market? Why you guys sometimes so dumb that you don't even think? Let's look at the interior you are talking about right now. Let's assume, because I know all the interiors, either it come from India or from China. All the interiors in that building, either they come from India, where the company comes from, or they come from China. Okay? All what I do, I buy it from China, sir. And stop coming here and talk as if you don't even know what you're doing. I will lecture you on what you don't know. My house, the house I built, all my toilets are made of, are gold-plated. All the toilets in my house are gold-plated. In Nigeria today, the cost of gold-plated toilets is about 600,000, 700,000. But I bought those properties, those toilets for less than 200,000 from China. What are you telling me? What I know? I did on China. I import goods. So you talk here, if you're talking to somebody, you talk to somebody who's into the business. I'm into construction. Go check my page. Don't come here to tell me what I know. The first mistake you make is to bring the Indian company to it. You messed it up there. People that know my house, they go and ask them, all my toilets, they are gold-plated. I imported from China. You come here to tell me what I know. You're just here, you're just talking without even having a simple understanding of the techniques in the business. You are coming here to talk because Obaseki told you something. You are believing in. I will school you when it comes to investment and business. When it comes to construction, I will put in, I will school you. And even this Obaseki, I will school you now. These are to speak English. So guys, now the Oba has no problem with you guys. Let Obaseki go and defend the lies that is spewing to people like this Junior, who does not think anymore with their sense. So let him go there and defend all that he had done. A man of integrity should not be able to run away. He should be able to stand and tell the people actually what he had done and why he did what he did. And what benefit is it to the Edo people? Okay? What he did. What is the benefit to the Edo people? Why will you go and borrow money on behalf of the Edo State government, and at the end of the day, give the Edo State government just made 20% of everything? Okay, you borrowed money from the capital market, 70 billion. Why did you not borrow the entire money and build a hotel and let it become Edo State property? Then after borrowing, and the Edo State is now paying with interest 350 million or so, according to Commissioner of Information, on monthly basis. To clear that very particular debt you've incurred on the state. Okay? So at the end of the day, you are not coming to now say you gave them 20%. And his Mumu followers will not want to sit down and say, okay, as a man of high integrity, according to you, transparency and accountability, why not go there and prove all you said? The greater problem of Obaseki are people like this Mumu Jr., who does not even understand. When we are fighting for Obaseki, we were people like you in 2020. You come here to talk trash. If you have sense, if your brain is actually working the way it's supposed to work, where we are people like you, when people of high caliber we are talking, or we are fighting for this man to return back to power. It's not about the what. Obaseki is a criminal. How can you watch somebody when you steal around and put it to be yourself like a word? I want to ask you a simple question. What is the definition of wealth? Go to abroad. Because you have Afro Invest does not make you a billionaire overnight. They're going to ask you, how do you make the money? Everybody that makes money in abroad, come abroad and see. You are just there, you are talking and see. I beg, I don't want to even talk about this guy anymore. I don't want to talk about this guy anymore. Hey, Mr. Junior, you know, there's a place you get to. You see, this is where people go. When you start with somebody's experience, when they start fighting you people, you start arguing, you start shouting. I'm too refined to insult your father, because I won't do that. Because your father is not in any political position for me to insult your father. Okay, so I will just pretend as if I did not even see that. Okay? Now, my people, I want you all to understand that the Oba of Benin is not a political opposition to you guys. I will suggest, or I will advise rather, to take the Oba away from your mouth and focus on Modu Okpebholo, who is the governor of the state, who had the constitutional responsibility to develop the state, and speak to him. Let the Oba not become your subject matter because you have an intent or interior motive in destroying the kingdom. And to you, Mr. Obaseki, the Oba of Benin had done you no wrong. In all that you'll be saying, You have never been able to pinpoint where the Oba of Benin wronged you. In any ways. So the advice I will also give to you, sir, is focus on the government that is probing you. Spill out what all you need to spill to the government. And leave the palace, the throne, and the one seated on the throne from all your conversations. Because in every time you see it, you and your groups will always try to throw tantamount to the Oba of Benin. So my plea to you is to stop discussing anything that has to do with the palace of the Oba of Benin. He was not part of your government. He never opposed your government. I never supported anyone against you or your anointed candidate. Because right in the presence of the same Oba, you won the 2020 election, even when every odds were against you. And call your social media dogs to order. To stop throwing tantamount to the palace and the one seated on it. People like us will not just sit down and watch all your guys coming here to insult the palace of the Oba of Benin and will feel that as if nothing is happening, we will keep quiet. It will not happen. Like I always tell people, the only identity we have as a Benin person today that makes us to be relevant all around the world is the throne and what they stood for, what they did in the past. The history people talk about today is based on what they did in the past. And that has been the reason why people still talk about us today all over the world. It is the same palace and the ideas that they brought that also brought about this whole artifact that we talk about, that we are fighting for today. If there was no throne, there would have not been anything that we need to fight for. We are not the only ethnic group in Nigeria. We are not the only ethnic group in West Africa. But we are the most spoke about. Just a 7 local government area ethnic nationality in a country of 240 million people. In a population that is not even up to 2.5 million. We have become the subject matter that the entire world talks about. It is the palace, the throne, and those that have sat on the throne before him that have given us that credential, that resume that we carry around proudly as an Edo man, as a Benin man. So wherever it is, face the one who took over from you. Face the one who you think stole the mandate of your anointed candidate and leave the throne and the one who sat on it alone. This is the only way. This is the only way that peace can return. Because we, the real Benins, are proud, are very jealous of the throne. We do everything or anything to protect it at all times. If people around you will not tell you the gospel truth, you know when you were in government, sir, you remember, I wrote you. You can still remember, I wrote you on WhatsApp. I explained society things to you during the 7 local government area. You read it, but you didn't reply. I also sent the same message to Philip Shaibu. Then I sent the same message to Saladon Oge. You already, it was shown double blue, but none of you replied. None of you acknowledged it, but that was no problem. Because the reason why I did what I was doing is to make sure we don't get to where we are today. I said a lot of things then, which I will not see online. If you can still bear me weakness. But many people today who are there deceiving you, trying to tell you, don't worry, go ahead, do it. It's a nobody, it's just a making, and all that and that. I said this before. Go check history. Nobody had fought the throne and come out the same way. There is always something that will happen to them along the line. We all know of Oyinebolen, one who wanted to also dethrone the then Oba Erediawa during the military era. We all know what happened to him. He left the state mad. They chained him out of Edo State. He was chained out. He was Kolo, he ran mad. Oba Tiebo, Enikawo Ogwina. So my kind advice to you is to allow the sleeping dog to lie. Face those whom took over from you, who said you have embezzled the state fund. Go defend yourself. The palace had nothing to do with your travails. The palace only spoke out because there was a break in communication between both of you before you left office over Benin Royal Museum, Emowa, and Mowa, which I think under normal circumstances, it is fundamental human right to know what transpired, that the original plan of the Benin Royal Museum ceased to exist and the Mowa came and later became Mowa. Rather than for you to come and start and asking your boys to start throwing tantamount to the palace, it would have been nice of you to have explained even before you left office that you stop dealing with Benin Royal Museum so that he and his people can continue with that while you pursue the Mowa concept. That you never did. I mean, none of your followers will tell you this truth. Because they are blind to the reality. They will never want to come and tell you the truth of the matter. You think they like you? They don't like you. They hate you more than you can ever think or imagine. Today, they succeeded in destroying your political career for their own selfish interest, too. Not for your own interest. You think they like you? No. Some of them have some issues with their palace on their own, and they are using you to get across to the palace. And you are happy. And those of you supporting Obaseki, without not telling him the truth, I pray that the day you will fight for what belongs to you, The day you will fight for what belongs to you will be the last day of you on earth. I want to say, sir, if you believe that Oba Obini fighting for what belongs to him is not an issue, I pray for you that the day you will fight for what belongs to you, that will be your last day on earth. I want to say, sir, say me put. The day you will fight for what belongs to you, that will be your last day on earth. If any of Obaseki supporter will say amen, I will stop doing video that will talk that concern the palace and Obaseki from today. If anybody who is Obaseki supporter decide to say amen here today, I will stop doing anything, any video that will do with Obaseki and the palace from today. That the day you fight for what belongs to you, the day somebody want to take what belongs to you from you, and you decide to fight back, that will be the last day you will breathe on earth. Say amen. Bisayo. Bisayo. Then I will stop. A man you put parade to the man of integrity is a man that cannot even stand to defend what he did. He left 2 days before the expiration of his government. He ran away when he was still under immunity. He ran. Nobody handed over to Mebolo. He ran away. Is there a man that you said that have a door at heart? Why you guys even talking? Let's leave politics aside. I don't like Okpebolo. You guys would have seen the video, many videos that I've done against Okpebolo. I don't even like him. Because he's too sluggish for my liking. I did a video against him a few days ago when he was saying kidnapping is to blackmail Tinubu. I did a video against him because I don't like nonsense. Obaseki will be the first and the last person I will support. I told you guys before, anything I have to do with politics, can't see the out of it. I don't have that time anymore because I don't trust any of them anymore. The trust I had for Obaseki was too big and he failed woefully. Thank you guys. My name is Jumani Steve. Brightness, Amoyi, I greet you. Junior, no worry. Me and you go chat. I will talk to you. What is the name of this other guy that I saw now? Bra Sylvester, I greet you, sir. Bra Jimmy, I greet you. Amawosa, Okundia, salute you, sir. My sister, Ike, I greet you, ma. How you doing, ma? And Bra Jolly, I greet you. And all of you who was here, you know, and Prince, I greet you. Okoro, I greet every one of you that have actually took our time to be on this broadcast. I just believe we continue to tell ourselves the truth. Let us not hide on that sentiment. All we need is a better Edo. Okay? And wanting a better Edo is not for one man to not become an emperor of the entire state. That's what we are trying to avoid. You guys will not understand until you don't clear. And when one man takes over government property to become his own, directly or indirectly, it's not the right way to go. That's not development. That's not development. That is total embezzlement and stealing. Okay? That's one thing we should all fight against. I say it now. I'm going to say it again. When Oshomole came to Edo State, he took Edo University, Iyamo, and turned to a private university. I was one of those people who stood against it. When Obaseki wanted to probe him, I stood for his probe. You guys know that. When the 30 billion naira whatever it's called, Storm Project came, I was one of those who also told Obaseki, I wanted to probe this man. You guys remember. But Obaseki never did. Look, Benedi also took a lot of Edo State property in his time and turned it to his own. Shomole did not probe him. Chomole came and took Edo State properties and turned it to his own. Obaseki did not probe him. Now Obaseki is coming to take Edo State property indirectly, using his clones like Kingsley Iheanacho and others. You guys are saying Okpebholo should not probe him. Mona, listen, no, at the talker now. 8 years is not forever. If Okpebholo thief or turn Edo State property to his own, make una not talk. Because I no go mind say na Asian man, I will defend him even when he's corrupt. I will remind you guys that I once came out and spoke as a true Edo man that every government needs to give account to the last kobo that they spent while they were in government. This is the only way we can grow as a state and we can grow as a nation. I once said the only way we can be who we want to be, we should take sentiment aside. Remove sentiment aside and stand on the path of truth for the sake of our state. But I see most of the time, sentiment becloud our sense of reasoning as a people. And we are not ready to see anything outside what you have conceived. You are built like a spurs around it. You know, this very hard share that Bati normally build. You build around you don't care anymore. You don't want to hear, you don't want to see, you don't want to know anything anymore that had to do with what it's subconsciously built in your mind. You get it now? That is dangerous. Because we will start speaking too much when it becomes worse. For example, during the time of Obaseki, there was kidnapping. When we talk, they will attack you. The same people now are not using kidnapping to fight Okpebholo. So Okpebholo insecurity is everywhere. Did this start in Okpebholo's time? The answer is no. When flood will come, we will do video. They will attack us, insult us, and call us all sorts of names. Today, the same people are now still using the same flood to discredit the government of Okpebholo. I don't understand. I don't know. I don't understand. You see, there's no roads in Edo State. Okpebholo is the government. Edo State does not have a road. Okpebholo is the government. Edo State does not have a light. Okpebholo is the government. Edo State does not have a security. Oga. Right from Oshomole time, security not the Edo State. We'll not talk. Basically, come for 8 years. We shout. Nobody care. Every October, for the 8 years of Obaseki government, every October is bloodbath in Benin, court clashes. Every October, 20, 30 Edo boys will die out of court clashes in Edo State. Every October of the year for 8 years. Nobody talked that time. Is that not insecurity? People were kidnapped on Benin-Auchi Road. People were kidnapped between Benin or a road, even Okada area. Nobody spoke. That lecturer that was killed, that lecturer from Okada that was killed, that from Yoruba that was killed, but that was kidnapped and killed in that area, in Okada area there. Was it not during Obaseki time? Nobody said anything. Was it not Obaseki time that the PDP chairman was kidnapped? Was it not Obaseki time that the Accountant General of the state was kidnapped? Was it not Obaseki time that Maizekume, the renowned son, was kidnapped? Was it not Obaseki time that the late music legend, Saromore Joseph, was kidnapped? I'm just telling you now the big names that were kidnapped during that time? Was that only security? Why are we using this double standard? Why? Why can't us just come out and say the truth? Made devil for shame. That made these people for work for us. People basically did roads. Why is the road bad? I told somebody before, I live at Amaba Aziz. Go to Gumoyi. Where they put that water pond, they don't drive many people come out for there. Go to Amaba. Where they put the water pond, they don't drive many people come out for there. Go and see it. Those are they don't drive them, chase them, come out when rain fall. The roads are bad right now. At the Gumoyi Junction, between Gumoyi Junction and the Anubo, opposite Victoria's kitchen. Go and see the portal that is there now. Now road we basically do 3 years before he left office. Now be that before he left office. Now be that 3 years. Now be that. Because I was already in Benin when that road was being constructed in 2021. Now be that road, so it's already dead. It's bad. Not be somebody do the road. Not be government doing. You will do a road in 4 years, the road would have been dead. We'll clap for them. What happened here? What happened here? You always super be bad. I greet you guys. Bye bye and God bless.